G'day everybody, welcome to Revit training sessions. Apologies, I haven't really posted anything for a little while. Usual excuses, work, life, it's coming up to Christmas. But hey, but what I was doing today, I was mucking around at home and I was thinking, what are some of the things that I've been learning in my workplace, where they do things a little bit differently in Revit. It's an architectural practice where I'm a building designer, so things are a little bit different. And one of the processes very early on in any project is trying to get hand-drawn images and ideas and concepts into a Revit file, because it's not something that just happens instantaneously, and there's many different ways of achieving it. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to talk about trying to bring concept work into Revit, okay, and it's sort of the early stages types of stuff. Okay, so I've created a new project here. I haven't saved it as anything in particular, okay, and what I'm going to do is, if I come down, I've got an image here. So this is from a job I did a couple of years ago. Okay, so it's a hand-drawn sketch of my own, and the job was, we have an existing unit to the front here, and we were putting a proposed unit out the back somewhere. And part of the process was to throw a few sketches to the client to sort of find out what appealed to them the most. So what I want to do is get this particular image into Revit, and perhaps, just start firming it up a little bit and sort of making it look a little bit more technical as opposed to sketchy. Okay, now the important thing is that this will only work if the image is a JPEG or a .png file. The preference is for JPEG because they are higher quality, but PNG will work. At this stage, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty confident that Revit doesn't accept PDFs. Okay, we can't bring a PDF into Revit, which is really frustrating considering that AutoCAD can do it. So chalk one to AutoCAD there. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to go back into Revit now. Okay, so you can do this with any JPEG if you want to muck around and just play with things. So how do I get the JPEG into my file? That's the first thing. Okay, so I need to go into my Revit. I've got to go into the Insert tab here. Okay, and in the middle here I have got an import section. Okay, and I can import a CAD. I've got an XML there. I can insert from files, so means we can drag views from other files, other Revit files and things like that. And this is what I'm interested in here, which is importing a raster image, okay, i.e. a JPEG, okay, which is being created using raster work as opposed to vector work. So I'm just going to left click on this image button, okay, and it's going to take me to my Windows Explorer, okay, and I'm just going to go to my desktop because that's where I've saved it, and there's the file there, and I'm just going to go open. Okay, so when I click open, what I do, if I zoom all the way out, okay, is I now see two lines intersecting, a little bit like a flag almost. Okay, and the four grips either side, each corner, showing me at the moment the current size of the image to be imported. So I'm just going to center this a little bit. I'm just going to left click to drop it in, and there we go. That's the first part done, nice and easy. Okay, the second part is we've got to get this to scale. Okay, and we're going to get this image in the right place. Okay, so my first thing to do is I'm going to get my measuring tool. Okay, and I need to find a reference somewhere within this drawing. Okay, and I've got a couple here. I've got 3 meters there, and I've got 1 meter here. Okay, so I'm just going to choose here. I'm just going to go left click 1 meter. Okay, so this is telling me 2160. Okay, so we're over. This image is now is double the size that we need it to be completely accurate. So, okay, we need to drag this thing down. So if I click on the image, okay, one thing I can do is I can grab, when you click on any image in Revit, you've got these the grips, the push and pull grips. If I left click and hold that down, I can just drag that in, okay, and that shrinks it. Okay, it makes everything nice and small. Okay, so if I do that and then do another measure just to test it. Okay, 1.6 meters. Okay, yada yada. Okay, do another test. It's a little bit arduous. Okay, and it can be a little bit inaccurate, this one. So 1.1. So you get the idea. So I'm just going to undo that. So that's one way of doing it. Okay. The other way is we can use our scale tool. Okay, so if I click on that, I have my scale tool in the modify section there. Okay, so scale resizes the selected item. Okay, so with the scale tool, you can either scale using a known scale factor, or you can use a reference, very much like we would use in AutoCAD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the reference method. I think it's a little bit more accurate. So I'm just going to draw a detail line. I'm not going to use invisible, this can be pretty hopeless. Okay, I'll use a fairly thick line. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a line that is 1000 millimeters. Right, there it is there, it's teeny tiny. Okay, there's our 1000 meters, so we know roughly where that line is versus this one here. So, but that is truly 1 meter. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my image. Okay, I'm going to click on the scale button here. Okay, and I'm going to use a graphical scaling system. Okay, so the first question, when we look down the bottom left hand corner, it says click to enter the origin. Okay, I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to click the bottom of my reference line. Okay, I'm going to do that. The next thing I'm going to do is, it says we want to know where we're starting, where's the image that we're scaling, so it's there, it's 2.2. So if I left click that, okay, and now the extension is how far do I want to drag it down. So now I'm just going to drag it down there. Okay, and left click. Bingo. Okay, let's repeat that. Okay, I'm going to click on my image. I'm going to click on the scale button. I want graphical. Okay, and it wants me to click the origin. So for this one here, I'm choosing the bottom of my reference line, which I know is the correct length. So that's the first step. So that is my starting point. The second point is, okay, where is the line on your reference element? Okay, in this case it is my JPEG. Okay, so what are you shrinking? Well, I'm shrinking this line. I want to bring this line down here. So click on that. That's the line that I want to shrink down. And the last step of the equation is, where are you dragging this line to and scaling the rest of the drawing to? I'm going to scale it down to there. Left click. Okay, and this 1 meter now matches this 1 meter. Okay, so I can get rid of that little line there, and now I can do another little test. Okay, and I can measure up a couple of other points along the way just to see how close I got them. Okay, so if I click that, I think I went for this one here, this corner here. So I've got 3947. I told the client 4 meters. It's tiny little lie, but that's okay. And out this way I've picked up 2.5 meters. Okay, so there's I've used a little bit of artistic license, I suppose. Okay, come out this way. They're telling me it's a 2 meter easement. Okay, and I've got 1.9. Look, for the sake of this particular project, this is the very first sketch of it. It wasn't the accepted one, and it is hand drawn, so there is a bit of roughness. Okay, this would be good enough. Okay, so with all of that done, okay, I can now pick up my JPEG. I'm going to center it in here between my elevations. Not that I'm going to draw any walls with it. Okay. So the next step is the boss comes in and says, right, here's my sketch. Okay, we need to get this into Revit. I need to get this into some nice pretty lines. I need it, better than my colouring in pencils or my crayons. Okay, make it look good. Okay, so you've done the right thing. You've rescaled it. It's going to be sitting on the page nicely. We know that part. Okay, the boss isn't interested in 3D stuff. All he wants to do is he wants a replication of this. Okay, to look a lot more professional. Okay, because the client's indicatively said, yeah, look, this is good, let's make it look better. Okay, now there are many ways to achieve this, but probably the simplest way to rattle off quick 2D images in Revit, okay, is to use filled regions. Okay, so we use filled regions and a combination of them with detail lines, etc., and text, just to basically paint the picture. So I'm going to give you a couple of quick examples of filled regions that I've got, and then we just go from there. Okay, so if I go to annotate, okay, if I go to my filled region area or region area, okay, we've got filled regions, masking regions. I want a filled region because I get different colors. Okay, now by default Revit doesn't give you an awful lot of filled regions. These are all my presets. So if I look through here, Unit 2 is looking a bit orangey or yellowy. So what have I got? Okay, so I've got a yellow here. So I'm going to, I'll just use yellow opaque for now. Okay, I want the outside line, because it's a building, I want that line to be fairly robust. So I'm just going to go through my lines here. Again, these are my template lines, so that I've set up. Okay, I'll show you how to do this one day. I'm going to choose my continuous 0.5. I want a 0.5 mil. I want it to be fairly robust. Okay, and I'm just going to left click there, and this is eyeballing. Okay, there is no very little science to this at all. Okay, architectural accurateness. You can see how bad my sketch was. Okay, so I'm just basically going along, and I am sketching that up. Okay, now when I go finish the edit mode, okay, what we can see there is now we've got this nice sort of solid fill. Okay, I'll repeat that. We'll filled region. I'll chuck in some trees for argument's sake. Have I got a green? Do I have green? Yes, I do. I've got a green opaque. Yeah, I'll still use my continuous. I'll use my circle tool. Okay, and I'll draw a tree there. And I'll finish that one. And I will filled region. I can repeat. Whoop, get my circle. It's still on. So I'm overlapping these filled regions. Okay, actually this one here might need to be green transparent. Likewise here, because if I use the opaque, what happens is I can't see the lines underneath. Okay, and again filled region, green, transparent. Okay, and I can. I keep forgetting to do this circle. Okay, finish that there. Extremely rough. It's only one step away from using a manual pencil, but the idea is that we give the client the idea. Now if I was to hide this JPEG from view of the image, so if I click on to go EH, okay, that's the level of detail that we're getting, okay, and that's nice for the client. So just undo that, so we're back in there. So good to practice. I mean, it's an essential part of or an essential skill set with Revit. Yes, Revit is a 3D BIM tool, but the reality in offices is that the first stage of most projects are 2D sketchwork, concept design, master planning, nothing particularly fancy, and the temptation with Revit is to use it in its full 3D mode when we don't need to. So this is just one way of achieving those basic ideas and helping our bosses and our directors realize their thoughts in a more concrete manner, and start to impress our clients. So anyway, it's a pretty long video for me today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I've actually really enjoyed doing this video, this particular one. I think it's a very practical video. Hopefully I might get to do some more before Christmas, but until then, we will see you later.